Hey guys, BJ on GameDay back for another episode. Brent and Josh, just running through obviously round 12 of Supercoach. Origin's coming up nice and quick. Sorry about last week, we had a really short video last week due to, I guess, alcohol and intoxication. But we're back this week, bigger and better than ever. We'll run through a few trades, obviously coming into Origin, who we're trying to get in. But at the same time, obviously not follow what everyone else is doing, try and get that point of difference. Coming up to a vital part of the season, and any ground you can make is pretty big. How'd you go last week, buddy?
Yeah, a bit under par, 1067, so I'll take a couple of thousand. I'm pretty happy with that still at the moment, but it looked like around 1100 was probably par.
Yep.
Dropped back 1,000 spots on about ranked 4,000th overall. 1043 average for the year, so I can't complain.
Yeah, massive week for Supercoaches last week. Some really big scores out there. Unfortunately, I was not one of them. I crashed and burned like you wouldn't believe. I had 924 points. I can't even begin to tell you where it went wrong. There's probably the big one spot that it went wrong. It cost me a few points, but ultimately not that many. I still wouldn't have cracked 1,000. I started with Cam Smith.
Rookie.
I had a look at my bench Thursday night, 5 minutes before the game. Been watching it all day. 5 minutes before the game, I looked at my reserves and I thought, oh, I'm stacked in the reserves. This is awesome. I had Milford and I had Trebojevic and I had Damien Cook. And not realising that my other hooker is Cameron Smith, I just didn't even look at my starting squad. So a little bit of a stuff up there on my part. Lost me about sort of 30 or 40 points. I would have brought in Murray instead, and I think he scored about 40. So that's sort of what it cost me. But yeah, still a pretty average round. I had blokes like Crichton, Christian Crichton and that just sort of sucked it up. So hopefully we can improve this week, mate.
What trades you make? Just to give a recap to all the listeners.
Last week, just the one trade for me last week. I dropped Slade Griffin and I brought in Reece Martin. Just jumped on the money train like everyone else. Surprisingly, he went pretty well against the Sharkies. He scored 82, I think it was. Obviously, Fatala Mariner was out, which inflated his minutes a little bit. But that said, he looked great. He created a lot around, good base. This kid's a keeper. He
got the arm away a fair bit too. He had a few offloads in him, which was good to see. So that was the best look I've had at him, and he was really good. So if you didn't get on him, this is your last week, I reckon.
Yeah. Mate, he jumped up, 116, 117k last week, which is a massive rise. If you miss that this week, he's still got a massive break even. So if you didn't get on last week for whatever reason, you might have been trying to take care of injuries or buy rounds. You just need to get this guy so you can cash in on him. And if he keeps performing as he is, as I say, becomes a keeper.
Yeah, for sure, man. Sure.
Trades for you last week, mate?
Yes, I did the same. Griffin to Martin. I wasn't confident in Griffin holding his value. Even just having him in 13, if he pumped out a 30, I wouldn't have really been happy if he dropped under 350. So I jumped. I haven't looked at Griffin's break even, so I don't know if it was a good trade in the end, but banked a lot of cash. And then basically used that cash to go low max to Gutho.
Yep.
So just strengthened up my centres a little bit, which was nice. Gutho got a pie and only got about 60, but that's all right. A bit of a pot at the moment, but probably not so much after this week. I think a fair few people looking at bringing him in because he's still a decent price.
Well, with our short video last week, I just did a buy list and Gutho was on it. I looked at Gutho, he's 418k. He had a break even of, I think, 58 or 60, somewhere around there. So he stays the same this week with price. The concern, obviously, 260s in a row, but the concern is that both of them included tries.
Yeah.
The other news this week is obviously him and Corey Norman switching spots. There's a bit of talk around saying that will affect him in a bad way. I tend to disagree. I think the more he can get his hands on the ball in a playmaking role, I think the better Parramatta will be. I understand, obviously, he won't have those hit-ups early in the set and things like that. But I just think, the more he can get his hands on the ball, the better.
I think I watched Parra pretty closely last week, obviously bringing him in. He was really dangerous. Like, he was the one out there that they were trying to get him the ball most of the time. I think he's going to have a little bit less room, but he's getting the ball more. I know he's not going to get those kick returns and all that, but I like it. And he's the kind of 5'8" that will take the line on. So he still might get 15, 20 sort of hit-ups, depending on what he's feeling. But I'm okay with it at this point.
Obviously the return from the ACL injury is always a concern. You know, you look at players like Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, took him a sort of season to come back, and he's come better than ever. Gutho started off a little bit hesitant, but he looks more confident as every match goes.
Yeah. BG on Game Day League, we've roped into 158 overall, so we're going actually pretty good. It was
League's
a good
going
week.
well, no thanks to me last week.
Good week from most.
Everyone scored over 1,000 last week.
About 1,100 was passed. The top score was Hopesy's Hopes at 12.04, so good score, mate.
Yep.
Sorry, now still on top. He's extended the lead from myself, so he's 130 points clear of me, and only 8 points behind me in the bronze at the moment is Braden with Team Hope. So it's hotting up there, mate. It's only there's a few guys on the 11,400. Big Ted's there. Hopesy's Hopes is there. Hell's Granny's Wayne. I mean yourself. Like it's a really close.
It's going to switch around a fair bit over the next few weeks, I think, especially with Origin.
These buy rounds coming up are going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
So that's all everyone's game at the moment, still, mate.
We talked about the trades from last week. What about this week, mate? Have you sort of penciled in any early on?
Yeah. So this week, I think I'm going to get rid of Lachlan Croker. I've just had him sitting there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the couple of obvious ones is Brimson or Tamari Martin. I was pretty much sold I was going to go Brimson and all week I was talking to you.
Talk me through the change, because you're going to say you're going to go tomorrow, eh?
Correct,
Talk me through the change.
Yeah. I mean, Tamari Martin's about 20 grand more expensive or so, something like that. I just feel like, I'm only really bringing him in now because he'll play 13 and he's got that 5'8 spot, even if he wasn't named there this week, with Morgan probably out. I feel like he would have either got the fullback or the 5'8 anyway. It's only for round 13.
Yep.
But I'm a bit short for 13. So if I'm going to make that trade anyway, which I was, to make money, I may as well bring in someone that is going to play that round just to help me, because you never know. I rate him more than Brimson. I know he hasn't been good at all this year, but I watched Tamari Martin's debut and he single-handedly beat Brisbane in his debut and kicked the winning field goal.
Yeah.
I think they were down, I can't remember exactly, but the kid's a freak. He's got that Marshall SJ sort of about him.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything. I know the points aren't relevant, but I'm banking on him being someone that could be that player in round 13 that everyone goes, fuck.
You're taking a risk, but in the end, it's a $180,000 risk. You know, it's not too much money. You're banking money going from Croker to him. You get another player for 13. You know, who knows what either him or Brimson are going to do. What about job security for the two of them?
I think, Brimson's got far better job security, it looks like. They've trialled Cardi at 6, that hasn't worked. And
Kane LG sort of looks like he's on the outer there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Titans have had some good results in the past couple of weeks. Well, they won last week against us. So they got high raps on Brimson, and someone in one of our first sort of videos said that he would be there by...
Yeah, I remember that,
as well, so good call. But I just think he's definitely going to be second fiddle, whereas Martin's more likely to be a bit more active. I know Thurston's the 7, but I just like the prospect of Martin a little bit better. And he plays 13. I was going to make the trade anyway. Gives me an extra man on the park.
My problem, and I agree with you there with regards to Thurston. Thurston has just played such a first receiver role this season where it's catch and pass. He looks like a rookie halfback out there. And obviously that's not just based on ability, but I just think his time's come. I think the body's wearing down. I think the Cowboys just sort of look slow and uninterested. I think tomorrow might get his hands on the ball a little bit more.
If he was 250k, I'd probably go Brimson.
Okay.
I just for the price, I don't mind. He's got a lot. They both got low break evens. Brimson's minus, but Tamari's a 0 or something really low anyway. So that's what I'm going with this week.
Second trade?
I'm probably going to go kick out as a power. I thought about kick out. I'm just happy to trade kick out at this point. He's been on the bench and all that sort of thing. He's starting to hit that 60-ish break evens, which is starting to get a bit iffy to hit. Yeah. If he pumps out of 30 or 40, he's going to inflate his break evens.
Yep.
I can't blame people for holding him, but for 13 again, just strengthen it up. Going to bring him to power. Considered SASA for 100 grand cheaper, but there's not too much chop in that front row. And if I'm going to make a trade and not have to worry about it pending injuries or anything like that, it's to power. Yeah.
We talked about a week or two ago about numbers for round 13. You mentioned that you're a little bit thin. Obviously, these two trades give you a couple extra numbers for next week. Are you still looking at about 13 or 14?
I think so. I mean, now Kenner looks like he might not be there. I've held Kenner this whole time. The mail is he could be back 14 now, potentially. Nathan Brown, who knows if he's even going to be back. These are guys I was banking. Yeah, still got Brownie. Coruscant, thankfully, only got a week, so he should be there. Cookie's all but going to be the origin player, but I still think I'm going to be looking around that 12, 13, 14 number.
Yep.
So basically you've got 4 trades left and you've got to make them count from here if you're struggling. And
no, definitely.
I'm looking at that 13, 14 at this stage, mate. What about you? What trades are you thinking this week?
Mate, this week, look, taking a bit of a punt. Last week really, really hurt me in the centre wings. I'm looking at offloading Christian Crichton and getting in Blake Ferguson. Yep. I'm going to bank on the fact that he doesn't play Origin. Now, there was a league team today, we both saw it, that named him in the team. There's a lot of talk around that Tommy Trbojevic won't be there at all. I hadn't been banking on that. I had been banking on Trbojevic taking one of the wing spots. Ferguson's been in great form, but I just thought him being on the outer would see him not play Origin this season. Obviously, the past indiscretions and things like that, but the one thing about Ferguson is every time you put him in a rep team, he turns up. He really plays his heart out. So he was a little bit of my pod for me. But that said, I think I'm still going to get him in. Yeah. I'm going to take the punt, take the chance. The Roosters play the Titans this weekend. I've got Mitchell in my back line. I've got Ferguson. I've got Teddy. I think this is one of those weeks where I'm banking on Roosters putting sort of 50 or 60 on a team. The Titans have looked better. I will say that. They've looked better. But yeah, I just think the Roosters are a team on the way up. So that's one trade I'm looking at. The other trade I've tossed up a little bit. I want to get rid of kick out. Same as you, mate. I think that break even is starting to get to 60 or 70. Bit of doubts on it. I had brought in Matt Eisenhuth. That was just sort of a little bit of a trade on Monday I looked at. I reversed it after I saw he'd been benched. We've seen Michael Cheekham move into the back row. With Mahe Fanil coming back in, Tuiloahiga coming back in. So Eisenhuth's been the one that's sort of been relegated. Back to the bench. If he had been started, I would have got him in. Instead, I've gone to Herman Sasa. I actually said to someone online on Facebook the other day, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, to dump Sasa. I thought he'd peaked, and then he threw in an 80 with a try. Overall, he's just sort of solid across the season. Nothing fantastic. Same as Kikau, same as Eisenhuth. My advantage there with Sasa over Kikau is obviously that he plays the bye week. So that's sort of what I'm looking at there. The other one I thought about was TPJ. Yep. Now, TPJ I had earlier in the season, like a lot of people. When he got that injury, I moved him out. Went huge last week, but he doesn't play 13. So he could be an option there in the coming weeks if he doesn't obviously go too large and his price gets out of reach. But look, just without playing round 13, I'm in a similar boat to you. I'm probably looking at about 13 to 14 players. If Damien Cook plays Origin and if Ferguson doesn't, I'll have 14. Yeah. So, that's sort of what I've been looking at. Let's talk about Origin, mate. Obviously, a lot of talk about Damien Cook. Who are your other sort of bolters that you've heard about so far to maybe make the team?
Well, I guess the really interesting ones are probably the halves and the centres. So we had an unreal matchup last week with Latrell and Jimmy the Jet. And,
that game just threw up everything, didn't it?
Didn't they produce...
Latrell in the first half destroyed him. In the second half, Jimmy schooled him,
It was awesome. So I guess those centre spots are interesting. I feel like I'd heard the way I watched that Brisbane Chooks game on free to air.
Yep.
And the way Fittler was talking about Keary in one of the tries that he had scored off Latrell, I can only imagine he's going to pick Keary just on what he was saying. That's just my opinion. I don't know if it's different. But the way he talked about him, and he's got that Chooks background, Freddie. So if he's picking Keary, he's got to pick Latrell. Cordner's already out there. So it just sort of makes sense to me. They got that combination there, and they are playing some pretty good footy. So I don't mind it. Keary's dangerous, as much as he probably doesn't even want to play for the state last time I heard. But I think that's where they're going to go. On the other side, I guess it's interesting, probably Jimmy the Jet. You got specialist left side is Latrell, specialist right side is Jimmy, which is good. In the past, we've always picked guys, not even just out of position, but on the wrong side of the field as well, which doesn't help. I'm interested to see where Ewan Aitken fits into all that. I think they're just going to go for that speed. I'd like to see Addo Carr get a jersey as well.
I've always held the philosophy in games, and I know Origin's always been about defence, and they're tough, physical games. But at the end of a game, you've just got tired bodies everywhere. Now, Addo Carr's one bloke who can completely exploit that. Jimmy the Jet's another. Michael Jennings used to be it, and obviously he's a bit past his time, but he used to do the same thing. If you can score more points, and whether it's 40 to 38 at the end of the day, Souths have got the same mentality this year of an offensive team. If you score more points than the other team, you win the game. It's quite simple. And I think that's the approach New South Wales might go with this year.
And I think, you're not picking these guys for their defensive attributes. I mean, that's going to be a liability, but I think this is the time to get them. There's that Queensland spine's basically cleared out.
Yeah.
Greg Inglis is getting old. If he's got to pair up on a Jimmy the Jet the whole 80 minutes, I think this is the time to swoop. And we've got to try it. We haven't done anything different for that long. I think let's see what happens. Like I said, you're not picking these guys for their defence. You're picking them because you're going to try and destroy them in attack. So we'll see what happens. I don't know about the 7. I think Maloney's the easy one. He's that calm, experienced head that'll steer him around. That's the easy choice. I think had Cleary not been injured, it'd be Cleary. There's murmurs about Moses, but I don't think that's the right choice personally.
It's funny, if Cleary hadn't have been injured, I don't think Maloney shows the form he has so far this season, because Cleary would have kept steering that Penrith team around the park. So for that reason, I love the look of Maloney and Cleary in the halves, 7 and 6, whichever way you go. Just because both have shown what they can do when they need to lead a team. One of them goes down injured, the other one's going to turn up. So yeah.
And just that other wing spot, is Tommy Turbo going to get a wing, or is it Fergo, or I don't know. So it's some interesting ones in there, but will be revealed this weekend, mate. So.
What about Ponga, mate? Obviously, a lot of people looking at maybe moving Teddy to Ponga or bringing Ponga in next week. Look, I know Queensland seem to be stacked in the back line, and there's probably not much talk about him getting a spot. But is there a chance?
I think he's going to get in that squad somewhere, whether it's maybe not the 17, but even as an 18, they're just going to try and get him in that, expose him to that atmosphere.
He's a freak.
Man, he is that good. Like, I'm spewing I didn't start to.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing about it is, I mean, I mentioned it last week just quickly, Teddy to Ponga. And obviously Ponga went quite well. Teddy didn't go too bad, but the Roosters don't need Teddy or go to Teddy like Newcastle go to Ponga. And every time Ponga touches the ball, he's looking to do something with it. He's not looking to just pop it or something. Every time he touches the ball, he's trying to do something. And it's unreal as a Newcastle fan to tune in and watch him. He's tough. He breaks tackles it's amazingly. Like, he gets through tackles. You think he's just some little kid, but he's obviously stronger than he sort of looks. Queensland are looking for a goal kicker. He's not our current goal kicker, but maybe he jags a wing spot somewhere. I don't know. Like, are they going to pick Boyd if Slater's fullback? Does Boyd get his spot on the wing? I mean, he's done nothing this year for Brisbane, to be fair.
And Hemi keeps troubling him.
But Queensland are quite loyal. They'll probably go Inglis, Boyd. That combo's worked for years when it was there. Slater at the back. You've probably got Will Chambers on the other side with Dane Gagai. I think they end up being where they go. I
mean, the problem is Inglis and Boyd are null and void if they don't have the delivery there from the inside, which they've lost. You don't have JT there.
And that's the other. What's the halves combo? I think they're probably leaning maybe towards a Morgan Munster.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe a Hunt Munster. Maybe Morgan gets that utility off the bench.
I'm
wondering what they're doing there.
Ben Hunt's got to be there with what he's done this year for St George. I think Brisbane don't really know what they've missed. Obviously they signed Jack Bird on big money. I think Wayne Bennett would be kicking himself for letting go of Hunt. Whether that was there was anything else, other things behind the scene, but they missed the boat. Get rid of him.
Yeah, and another interesting one will be McCulloch. I think he's going to be the one that gets picked in that 9 jersey.
Yep.
Awesome footy player, but they're going to lose that experience and those level heads that you would have had in the middle of the park with Cronk and Thurston and especially Smith. It's going to be a really interesting series, and I hope we can just get a start on them. But,
Yeah, definitely.
this is the kind of series where we need to get a good start because you just don't want that, getting in the heads of the New South Wales boys. So we'll see what happens, mate.
Captain and vice captain choices for the week, mate?
Yeah, so I think this week I was looking at Cookie for vice just because he only had a bumper week last week. They got the Warriors. He's just so dangerous all the time. He's always sniffing around. Some of those big Warriors forwards might find themselves in a bit of trouble this week with him. I think I'm just locking for Feeder as my captain next week. I'm just happy with him.
Yep.
I was worried that he popped out that performance against the Titans a few weeks back, which is a bit of a worry, but I think that's where I'm looking this week. Maybe Tedesco as vice against the Titans. As you mentioned, there's going to be a bit of interest in that one, Supercoach wise. What about you, mate?
Mate, I think for the vice, I'll probably go Turbo.
Yep.
Probably just a game sequence here. I'm pretty set on Latrell as being my captain. Just a bit of a gamble, but I just think he's going to tear the Titans apart. I really do. I think with Origin being announced, if he wants to play, if he wants to be that other centre picked, I just think he's going to have a blinder. Like I said, if they put 50 or 60 on him, he's going to kick 8 or 10 goals. He may score a couple of tries. I'm tipping him to ton up this week and, throw the captain on him.
Well, I know he's probably on Brenko Lee's side of the field and he had a couple bad reads.
Brenko can't defend for...
it'll be interesting. I mean, Brenko's a big centre, so maybe he showed that he made some shocking reads on the weekend. So, I think that Chook's left edge is looking real potent at the moment, so not a bad option, mate. A bit of a pod captain, I reckon. Yeah,
just something a little bit different. Obviously, I fell behind last week. I could be making a choice that puts me further behind, but who knows?
Who knows? For the biscuit. You did similar with Aitken earlier in the year, and that paid off for you.
With about 5 minutes to go. He was still only a 70 captain, but hopefully we can do the same there. Mate, the Knights and the Sharks this week. Grudge match. Me and you.
Shit.
We got to belt yous, don't we?
Surely. I mean, we've put in some good performances. But there was always going to be these ones like against what happened against the Titans where we just need that experienced head to sort of direct us at those critical times, and that's what we lost with Pearce.
Yeah.
We're still competing, and if we could just have another Ponga out there somewhere, that'd be good. But, I mean, you guys, 5 in a row?
Yeah.
It's down there. Is it in Shark Park? Is it
no, it's up at McDonald, whatever you call your stadium now.
McDonald Jones Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean... Usually going in favourites for sure, but never underestimate us on a Sunday over up at Newcastle, mate. So maybe Kalen Ponga gets his first game where he bags a double and, turns it on. But, I think he's going in slightly favourites.
Come on, Sharkies, let's go.
Let's see what happens.
Anything else we can go through this week, mate?
Probably the head-to-head for the boys.
Head-to-head?
So anyone in the head-to-head league at the moment, probably just tune in if you want. Anyone else that's not in that, feel free to turn on the stations. So the head-to-head league, we meant to give an update last week, but we got on the sauce. Sorry about that, boys.
Sorry, lads.
So we'll give you a bit of an update on that. So at the moment, on top, just on points difference, we've got Serenity now, so he's actually doing the double at the moment. Wouldn't that be a feat?
Mate, well look, obviously total and the head-to-head. He's 5 and 3.
Yeah.
You're leading the league at 10 and you're only 5 and 3. Like, there's 4 blokes 5 and 3. It's a really tight league. We've all performed pretty well, I think. And you go down to last, there's 3 and 10.
And basically, between first and 10th, it's 3 wins, which is nothing.
Yep.
So it's really close. I guess the informed coach of the last 5 weeks is Wayne Bennett. So Adam's Wayne Bennett.
Adam's pulled himself off the canvas very well.
So he's outright the best captain, the best coach of the last 5 rounds in the head-to-head.
Yep.
Since the head-to-head score, their highest point scorer is Serenity now, which makes a bit of sense, leading the total points.
Yeah, well, last early camp's really come on strong the last sort of 8 or 10 weeks.
So this would have started from round 3 or 4 or whatever it was that the head-to-head started.
Yep.
So he scored 8,592 since then, so he's charging pretty strong. Most points against, we're going to mention this, mate. I've had a pizzling with 8,507. When
everyone steps up when they play the doozy. When they're playing Brent, they step up. So
I can't blame them.
Good to see.
I think last week I knocked off Hell's Grannies with some sick revisions. There was some sick revisions.
Oh, really?
Last week. He had about 30 or 40 on me. And I've turned it back in and I've knocked him off by about 7.
Oh, Wayne, I wouldn't be happy about that. Yeah.
About that one, but there was some cracking revisions last week.
Yeah.
So, at the bottom of the pile, we've got the fucking Cowboys. He's going to have to turn it up. Marky,
2-6. Pick it up, buddy.
1-4 of his last 5. In a bit of a slump, maybe. He takes a bit of a run through the origin period, maybe.
Yeah,
see what
he
happens.
might be setting up for it.
It's still open, Slather boys.
That's it. Obviously, we all want to get up as far as we can on the total points ladder, but the league is... Oh, no, we are overall, aren't we?
Yeah,
for
overall.
the cap. We haven't put the cap up today, but the head-to-head winner obviously picks up the nice World Cup cap. We'll send that out to you.
So you've still got something to play for, those guys that maybe are struggling a little bit in the total points. Some matchups this week is, well...
Teddy and Marty. Oh!
I've just talked up the fucking Cowboys to start a run. He's got to play me.
Fair enough.
And we have...
I've got Braden. Braden with Team Hope. I hope you got no hope, mate. I need to bounce back this week. Latrell's going to pick up 120, 240 for the captain. I can see it now.
There's some big matchups, and we got Serenity in our first place taking on Hells Brownies in 5th. So there's only the 1 win difference there.
Yeah, exactly.
If Wayno can get a win,
Wayno gets the win up. He's been in form.
He pulls Cam back, so it's an interesting one. And then on total points, just a quick mention: Cam leading the way, solid 1600th overall at the moment. So well done, mate. But yeah, everyone's going pretty solid in the league.
Happy with 158, the league rank, 158. Really good, boys. So hopefully we can keep it up to the end of the season, manage our way through the bye rounds. If you got any tips for anything through the bye rounds, any pods, chuck them in the comments and that. So, yeah.
All the best for the next few weeks. Think about your next 4 trades, guys. 4 trades till those bye rounds start. Think about what you want on the park and make them count.
Cheers, boys. See you next week. Oh, cool. Yeah, mate, I'm the same. I've got to get off the drink. I've put on... I'm 117 now. Which against your 135 is obviously not that bad.
And you're taller than me, mate.
When I moved to Canberra 18 months ago, I was 107. So I put on 10 kilos. Yeah. But I haven't been to the gym, mate. I'm not going to the gym, I'm not doing nothing. I'm losing muscle mass and I'm putting on fat.
And you're unfit as fuck.
And
you'll be getting, if you went on a 10-minute run, you'd be fucked.
Oh, mate, 2 minutes would fuck me. But the worst thing is as well, I'm running out of clothes. Yeah. Shit's getting tighter. I went and played pool last night and had a Cronulla training shirt on. And this shirt, when I got it 2 years ago, was a little bit on the big side. Mate, I'll fill it out quite nicely now.
True. How's this? I went to JJ's the other day. He got 2 pairs of pants for fucking $70 or something.
Yeah.
Ripped both of them in the fucking groin, getting in and out of the car within 2 days.
What?
I was like, first one, we got this new capsule thing, and I was like, fuck, this is tight. And I put my leg up, and it just went, and I was like, fuck. And then, the next night, Ollie was doing something, and I got up real quickly. Yeah. Because I was like, you fucker, and I was on my knees, and it just went, and I was like, well, that's $70 in the fucking day. They're full fucked, but I ripped them and you couldn't fix them.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so anyway, fucking good at that. Alright. Starting off. Do you need me to show you your score?
No, I don't want to see it again.
Well, you're round 11 recap.
What did you score?
1067. I went 1050 backwards.
Yeah. What's that league that those other lunatics run called?
It is YouTube Talk. Fucking check this out just quickly. I'm getting hammered in the head-to-head.
Yeah.
So this is why I fucking hate head-to-head shit. Anyway, I'm coming top 3 or whatever on total points, and I'm coming 15th in the fucking...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, where am I? 15th.
15th. Woodsy's in it.
Yeah, he was 4-1.
Oh, he's lost 4 on the trot.
Fucking, oh, he must have been 3 in 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I beat him like in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, so I'm 15th in that. But on total points, I'm up there like top 3 or something. Yeah, it fucking makes me
second.
This dude's fucking.
Yeah, no, he's gunning it. Yeah.
He did a Joshy.
Yeah, see? I know how he feels. I know how he feels.
What's he fucking going on? Just quietly.
What are we going to talk about tonight?
Fuck. Origin. What are you going to do in the next 4 trades? Who are the ones you want?
Yeah.
The cheapies we missed last week, probably.
Who did we miss? Oh, we were having a good drink, weren't we? Fuck.
Tyron Phillips.
Yeah. He went alright, didn't he, Phillips?
Campbell, is he playing his third this week?
Who?
Campbell? Tyron?
Graham.
Campbell Graham, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Like
but you talked about Kennar back when?
Well, they're 13 or 14 now.
Yeah.
I reckon. It was always going to be 13, but now they're saying fucking 14.
Oh, okay.
Which is fucked because I've held him for
for Origin round.
Yeah. And now I can't trade him because I was.
But at the same stage, like, and this is, I actually said it in that YouTube thing I wrote last week, the buy list about Heimel Hunt. Now I'm not a fan whatsoever, but you are. He's hit form. Kenner won't kick him out, and Graham is probably the one who goes, but he looks alright too, you know.
Has he played his third now?
He's played his third. He only scored 22.
Did he get named?
Huh? I don't know.
I haven't looked at that actually. Burgess got named, which is good. I think I'm going to go to Power.
You got the cash?
Yeah, I got
the
cash.
Are you kicking out?
Kick out.
Kick out, yeah.
Just because, like...
We don't play 13, and
if I fucking bring SAS in and fucking around, like... and there's not many front rowers you...
I mean, the reason I'm bringing in SASA is because I've got Lolo, I've got Tapau, and I've got Fafita. You know, they're the 3 you want.
Yeah.
So I've got them already.
Oh, his name?
His name, yeah.
And Robbo Jennings, Braden Burns on the bench, but...
See, Jennings in the reserves, that's surprising. Like, you know, obviously...
Yeah, well, he had the spot.
He had the spot, yeah, and Hunt's sort of kept him out.
Wait, so George is at Para, and Michael's at Para.
And I mean, in the end, like, you look at the Bunnies, right? They don't have superstar wingers. They've got 5 or 6 wingers that are all sort of the same ability. So if a guy's already in the team and good on form, you're not going to drop him.
Well, and Dewey's taking a centre spot over him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I'd expect that. Oh, they're pretty keen on this guy. They really.
But he hasn't even fucking played his. Like, what's his position?
Yeah.
He's fucking playing everywhere.
I was sort of glad that I kept Cam Murray. Because with Burgess getting injured, but now Burgess has been named.
Yeah.
But what's what? Yeah.
Alright. Talk about league at the end. Actually,
talk about trades, captains.
Trades you made last week. Because we didn't really go. Did you end up making it?
Yeah, just Reece Martin, just Griffin and Martin. That was the only one I did.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know I reversed Crichton. I don't know what the other one I was. Like when I reversed that before kick-off last week.
I swear one week you said you were on Munster as captain, and I looked at your team and you advised him and went fucking someone else.
Yeah, I did.
Fuck, I was like, I meant to tell you.
We had too much time to think about these things.
Fucking doing everything like he's.
But like, we do this on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That's 24 hours at least. I'll think about shit in between that. You know. Marty's on. Oh no, that's head to head, isn't it?
Yeah. So this bloke's in form for the last 5 rounds. Everyone else is taking frames off everyone.
So what are we? We're both 4. I'm 4 and 4. What are you? 5 and 3.
5 and 3. But my fucking look at this.
Minus 203. Yeah. What's your total points scored since the start?
That would be since the head-to-head start.
Yeah, since the head-to-head start. 8-3.
So we'll talk about the unluckiest against. 8.5.
Who's got 8.5 against
me?
Him? Oh fuck! Yeah. Oh, of course. Everyone steps up when they play the doozy.
Who scored the most? Serenity.
Yeah, Cam.
8592.
Yeah.
Which makes a bit of sense because he's come good. He started real shit. So
yeah. Alright.
Alright.
Let's just fucking wing it.
Yeah, sounds good, mate.